a version of you the world sees, and a version of you that only exists when no one's watching. The one carrying the weight, the questions, the truth you don't always say aloud.
In a world that tells women to keep it together, to be strong, to be polished, to be everything for everyone.
Well, this is the space where we take that armor off. No fixing, no pretending, no performing.
Just honest conversations about who we are when we're finally unplugged.
Hello, hello. We are here again.
We're back.
We're back. And now we have a guest. She Unplugged has its first guest. So, Larissa, we have right here.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much.
And I'm Laura.
Yes. Let's not forget, but yes, Larissa's here and it's going to be a really great episode. Thank you. Thank you for being our first guest.
Thank
you for having me.
It's
an
an
honor. And I'm very flattered that you guys thought of me. So thank you.
Of course.
The invite.
You know, we thought when we thought about reinvention, we thought about family dynamic.
Careers.
We thought about careers, shifting and everything that has to be with making changes. Because women, we change every day, pretty much. We had to think about you because you kind of have it all.
Oh my
I
God.
think you're a great example for that.
I feel like, there's multi-layers in my life that I've had to navigate. Can't wait to hear all about it. We want all of you to hear all about it. And just think about these situations that they've happened to you, just learning experiences, a lot of good ideas, and just good advice that I'm sure we're all going to have for everybody that's watching today.
So then the idea of today is going to be the topic. It's redefining family,
Yes.
careers, self, motherhood, a little bit of everything. And I think you're going to be awesome at guiding us through that. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I love this topic, by the way. It's been a through line in my life. Actually, I just posted on LinkedIn yesterday the different LinkedIn profile pictures on my feed. And I asked people who have crossed paths with my career trajectory to comment, like which era did we interact and what moment. Anyway, so just to say that redefining and reinventing has been something that's been a strong theme in my life since little. And my dad is American. He immigrated to Brazil when he was in his 20s. And that's when he met my mom, who's Brazilian. And then they started a family there. My dad, as an expat, he moved around a lot. So we lived in Rio, that's where I was born. Then we moved to Mexico City. Then we moved back to Rio. Then we moved to Sao Paulo, all for his job. And by the time I graduated high school, he had instilled in me and my sister that we were gonna literally leave the nest and go to a different country. But in his mind, he always thought it was gonna be America. You know, we were Americans, we had American citizenship, it's a no-brainer. But both my sister and I opted to go to Canada.
Okay.
So then we immigrated to Canada, students, and we went to school in Vancouver.
Okay.
And once we were there, we did the whole university thing, college years, and we finally graduated college. And at the time, I was having such a hard time finding my first job out of college. And I had done a ton of things at school. I founded a Brazil club, the student club. I was volunteering for many film students because I was a film student myself. So I was helping other film students produce and make their own films. Long story short, I was invited because of my work as the president and founder of the Brazilian Student Club. The Brazilian consulate in Vancouver invited me to be a part of this council that they created called the Brazilian Citizens Brasileiros, Conselho de Brasileiros em Vancouver, Council of Brazilians in Vancouver. And they wanted me because they wanted somebody to represent the student body. So I sat at that council, and it was like my first opportunity with like sitting on a table with other leaders, other community
At what
leaders.
age was that?
Probably 22, 23.
Very young.
Right after college.
Nice. Great.
And in that mix of people, I met a fascinating woman. She's a dear friend and a mentor of mine to this day. Her name was Lili Carvalho. And Lili used to work for a very prestigious art gallery. She was a curator for that. So she was the Brazilian sitting in that council that represented the arts. And her and I connected because I was a film student, and she was like, there's this group of there's a group coming to Vancouver to put together the first Brazilian film festival in Vancouver. Do you want to be a part of it? Of course I said yes. So that was my kind of like first instance into the film world. Was producing film festivals and being in that arena. And after that, I did that for a couple of years. I actually went to other places to also produce Brazilian film festivals outside of Brazil. So I went to LA, New York, Miami, and in my LA stint, the owner and the founder of this film festival introduced me to her daughter, because I had shared with her that I was thinking about moving to San Francisco, even though the film festival was in LA, and I was there to test the waters in LA. She was like, if you're thinking about San Francisco, you need to meet my daughter. We met, we got along, we moved in together in San Francisco. So me, my sister, and Brisa was her name, we became roommates. So
that's how you came to America.
That's how I came to the US.
That's amazing.
So we lived in San Francisco, which is the mecca of tech, right? And looking back, the moment that I was there was a very unique time, because a lot of tech startups
that was the time
were starting.
in San Francisco.
But that's interesting
how you thinking about film, and you were thinking about producing and thinking about coming to LA, and then out of a sudden then you find yourself in San Francisco, and then you had to kind of make a shift.
Yes.
You're like, okay, so I'm not in LA, I'm not gonna produce, I'm in San Francisco. And then what did you end up doing then?
Yeah. So in San Francisco, I was bringing you all back to Vancouver. The same lady who introduced me to the film festival world introduced me to a super cool new tech company that was up and coming at the time. And she was like, I think you fit with their culture. I think you should, try to email them and see if there's anything for you there. And I did exactly that. I emailed the info at techcompany.com with like a proposal. I just did this. I want to help you guys break into the LATAM market. Here is what I would do. And I got a response, and I got an interview. And that company was Airbnb.
Oh gosh.
When there were less than 50 employees, I was a part of that. Exactly. I was just recently a college grad. That was my first tech gig. And I did everything and anything under the sun that was related to Brazil, Portugal, Spanish speaking, like everything. So I did a lot of translation. I did localization of resources. And what they really hired me for was to do business development work. So to bring the new properties onto the platform. So you can imagine, how do you pitch let strangers stay in your home for,
and now we all do it, and we all love it, and cannot live.
Isn't that crazy?
Yes, it's just unbelievable.
And in Brazil, there's the added layer of like, people are very afraid of violence, like, crime rates are high there. So like, nobody wanted to know anything about having a stranger.
That was a challenge for you there. It was a challenge.
It was a challenge.
God,
but I did it. And I made so many good connections and friends during that time, because everybody was in that, like believed in the product, believed in the revolution that the founders were sharing with us. They were going to disrupt the hospitality business, and everybody got
so they were telling you that was going to be big, and you were like, really? Like, what did you think?
I didn't know what I was doing, but I was
follow the path.
I was in for the fun. It was a very fun environment, very young and very
innovative.
Like
Things so new.
there were no ideas that people said no to, so it was a lot of fun. And in that year that I was at Airbnb, I started networking with other Latinas that were working in other tech companies based in San Francisco.
Oh wow!
And I made a friend who was whose company and team was growing. They were growing a Brazilian sales team, and they wanted to find a new team member. So she referred me to that company, and then that's how I ended up going from a B2C company like Airbnb to a B2B company, and that was Salesforce. So I was
oh my gosh! So I'm thinking your life has been so much about connections, right?
Bridges.
Bridges and connections. And I think, when we want to do something different and we think, oh, that's so far-fetched, I think when it's for you, that connection will arrive.
Yeah.
Because with you, it just took you to all those different, like even from college to meeting Lily from that she represented the Brazilian art world, and just going through that whole process. It's like if you want it that much and it's something that you have your heart set on it, someone will come across your path to see it. Like I hear your story with all those connections and bridges.
It's a great example of just kind of believing and going with the flow, because your dream was one.
Yes.
And then you ended up being somewhere completely different.
Reinvention, right?
Reinventing and then having to follow that, and then probably falling in love with the different thing that you never thought you were going to be doing. So definitely that's an example of resilience, and it's a great thing to share with everybody in a sense of, if your life is going one way and you have this dream that this is the path that I want to follow. I mean, it's like when we're kids, thinking, oh, I'm gonna be a flight attendant. That was my dream, right? It was. So, and then, but life takes you somewhere else, and it's just so amazing how we are incredible human beings, powerful enough to recognize, you know what? That's not what I'm going to follow right now. Let me go this way and make the best out of it. Yeah. And that's what you did.
But I have to say, I need to stop for a second and really honor my parents, because at the time that we moved around so much, they built a muscle of adaptation in me and my sister that a lot of people don't realize, because moving and disrupting a child's life we talked about this.
Yes.
It can impact them one way, but it could also impact them the other way. And for us,
either way,
that was the moving around a lot, meeting new friends, having to, start over all over again.
Help you with that.
They instilled that in us. And so I think that a lot of this ease that I had going from city to city, industry to industry, was because I had not only was given this adaptive muscle by my parents, but also the building real connections to last, because we never know when we're going to see each other. But if you're connected with people, let's make sure that it stays long term.
That's really
so amazing. You're right. A lot of the opportunities that I come across has been very much about the connections, the network, the relational, the bridge building,
and then from there to then coming to now in Orlando and new family. So how did that come about? How did you meet your husband now?
Well,
tell me a little bit about that.
I think many people
what came along with that.
What came along with that?
Yes.
All right.
Let's hear that.
The good, the bad, and the other. No, there's no bad at all. I'm just joking. The pandemic, like for everybody, really shifted perception for me in terms of like, what have I been doing with my life? I poured so much into my career, and that was like, I was so tunnel vision about climbing the corporate ladder, making the big bucks, all that stuff, while having fun. I traveled the world, I did a lot of things, but at the pandemic, we all found ourselves isolated. far away from our loved ones. And I was in San Francisco, like the other side of the US. My parents were in Brazil at the time. My sister was in Colorado. So like truly like what really matters, right? Just love, connection, family. I didn't have that in San Francisco.
It was a scary time.
It was a scary time.
Yeah. Closest and the love and the sword together.
So I was one of those people that was on dating apps and just looking for connection from, you know, the comfort of my bed. And nothing stuck until I matched with a Brasileiro, Carioca, which is from my hometown.
Oh, wow.
So right just from the photos, we had a commonality. And so, and if, I don't know if you know, but Bumble, the woman needs to make the first move. If the woman doesn't text first, the guy does not get to hit on you.
Huh.
Right. So it's like a very girl power.
I think there was like a documentary about it. The lady that went to Bumble, and she said it, that the woman needs to make the first move. That's how I know.
Oh, that's amazing. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So you made the first move.
I did. And we talked in Portuguese, and his reaction was like, oh my God, this is so refreshing because I'm like struggling here with my English and like how to hit on women. And like, okay. So
it like hit on me. You know?
Yeah. So it
Finalmente falar português.
Finalmente falar português, exatamente. So that was an instant connection. We texted and video chatted for 2 days. I had made promises to my roommates at the time. I lived with this one French girl, and her Lebanese boyfriend was kind of our pod. You know, we made sure that the three of us would not make contact with the outside world because we were safe. Okay. But I broke that promise. I'm so sorry, Tatiana and Dan. But I broke that promise, and I'm so glad I did. I took that risk, you know. And the first date, he put all his cards on the table. Like, this is who I am. This is what I'm bringing to the table. This is what I'm doing with my life.
Okay.
And I'm like, you have these pieces of a puzzle, and I have these empty holes here. Okay, let's connect. So that's basically what happened.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And then with him,
Yeah.
came along another stage of your life,
Yes.
which is motherhood.
Motherhood.
At a different level.
So yeah, one of the cards that he laid on
Yeah, what were the cards? Tell us about these cards.
I have 3 kids from 3 different mamas, and they 2 out of 3 live in Brazil. One of them came to the US with me. And I'm like, in my head's spinning, right? And I'm like, wait a minute. I've always wanted to adopt. I've always knew that I wanted a family, but I never had that urge, like the whole biological clock thing never ticked for me. But this could be the solution to like my vision, you know? So that's what I meant. Like the pieces to our puzzles came together during a time that put pressure on people to make big decisions.
Yes.
And so we started dating, we fell madly in love, and in a month and a half we got married because he would have to go back to Brazil during the pandemic to Bolivia, which I fell in love the most.
How old was Olivia when you met her?
She was 3 years old.
She's 9.
That is a great.
She's going on to 9. Yes.
Oh my God.
It was a great age. Yeah.
3 is a great age.
She literally brought me a pot, like a soiled pot with a flower when we first met. And I was like, okay.
You got me.
You got me. Yeah. And to this day, she's like, you fell in love with that. I'm like,
oh my God. Can you imagine? And then how, for other women that probably are going through the same thing. And then, I come from, my husband has 4 kids. So I come also from that background where it's you find yourself in an unknown territory.
Yes.
And sometimes you feel like an outsider a little bit.
Yes.
Like, okay, this was his life before, but it's different from mine. Like I come from having a life, you come from having a life to his life has, this
it's a coexistence
component
together
of kids.
Yes.
Little people that are going
that count on you.
That count on you now. Yeah. So I'm sure a lot of women are going through that, and I'm sure there's some struggles or some adaptation and some ways to figure it out.
Yeah.
So, is there anything you can share that will help other people manage it? Because I've seen you in action, and you're absolutely amazing.
Oh my God.
You're a natural. Like, I see you in action, and I see how much Olivia loves you, and then everybody else, and then you're saying, 3 kids and 3 different moms, and I've seen you with the mom of one of them.
Yeah.
And you guys are like perfectly buddy friends, and then so how did you get there? I mean, what are the things that you can share? Like, hey, this helped me, or or do you know what I mean? Like, how can we learn from it?
So when this all happened and I signed up for it, I was like,
I'm up for it.
It really is that because I saw it in stages, because I knew that Williams, my husband's name is Williams, dream was to have all his kids under his roof, and my dream was to have a big family.
Yes.
So that's when we came together. Then my second thought was, how am I going to support him in his dream and vice versa, given that there's all these other players outside of our immediate, our nucleus family, our immediate family. So luckily we have done it in phases. Unplanned, but now with my project management hat on, it's very much about
That's
that.
interesting. Yeah.
And I joke with my friends. They're like, "How do you deal?" I'm like, "I have a whole spreadsheet. Each mom has a tab."
Well, that's
I'm kidding. That's not true. But
that's not in your mind anymore.
yes.
It's not like fit, but in your mind, they're like, okay, you can like how, because I'm sure your relationship with each one of them is different.
It's very different.
So
Very
you have
different.
to, again, adapting.
And all the kids
Right?
are in different stages of life.
Right. So going back to what you said about adapting as you went, like that muscle of adaptation your parents instilled in you.
Yes.
You use it in your career, but you're using it now in your romantic life, in your family life. So
And I'm trying to pass it on to the little,
exactly
little one.
Teach them. That's wonderful.
But yeah, what I was gonna say about this happens a lot with you guys too. Like the thought train comes and then it disappears.
Yeah, that's the thing. I was saying rounds again, and
it just unplugged. So let's come back to that.
Let's unplug the screen. Get back in. I'll bring it back in. But yeah, they're all very different, and the kids are very different.
Oh, yes, I remember now. The train came back.
Yeah, I came back.
I am a huge proponent of therapy, and I think if it wasn't for the support I got from a professional to help me navigate the last 12 years of my life, I definitely would not be able to be doing what I'm doing now. Like 100%. Going inwards, analyzing yourself, soundboarding with a professional who sees, people all day and listen to problems and just learn how. That has been a huge tool for me. And then what happened with Olivia's mom, the youngest, is that it's very hard, right? Like you leave a relationship and then this other person is coming in to a mother-like figure role into your daughters.
You have to understand how she feels too.
Exactly.
Right.
So I learned that in therapy, that it's about her feelings too. And I've always worked in DEI, inclusivity, equity, diversity. It's always been something very dear to my heart and part of my values. So I always included her in everything, even though her and dad didn't have the best relationship and best communication. I became that bridge. And
that's amazing.
And 100%, I always thought the bottom line is what is best for Olivia. Like, that's it, non-negotiable. Let's put our egos aside. Let's put her past, her histories, our broken relationship, whatever. But it's about Olivia. It's about 100%.
Did you guys ever get together and within you saying therapy? So did you guys ever do it together? Did that help? Or right?
We did. We had
You had meetings, or
we had therapy with Olivia's mom, myself, and William, the dad, my husband, because we needed to be on the same page
exactly.
in terms of what we wanted to instill in her, in terms of value,
how to raise her, and
how to raise
you had to be on the same path.
schedule, like everything, you know. And
Yes, amazing.
and it was, what was good about having a therapist was because she was able to get help us get vulnerable, so we could create that connection and that trust. And it wasn't until we had that moment happen for us that my relationship with Olivia's mom got better.
Wow.
And that translates to Olivia.
So exactly.
She feels so secure. She feels the love. Like, you know, we tell her, you have two moms. Her mom tells her, you have two moms.
Yeah.
You know?
That's amazing.
So it's a very beautiful thing. It didn't happen like, you know,
organically.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure it had to take.
But it's
different
beautiful.
steps.
It's beautiful where it is now.
It is beautiful.
You put in the work, and where it is now for you and for Olivia is beautiful.
For the whole family, because she has a beautiful family, you know, nucleus, and
we are bicultural,
mm-hmm.
biracial,
Mm-hmm.
immigration, and blended. Like, think about all the layers.
Just throw that in there, and
yeah. So we're, like I said, we need help. Women in general need help, and we have so much problems asking for help. Because society makes us think that we can carry it all. And
That's really, really a really cool thing that you mentioned, the way that you did it, that you guys, it worked for you guys, you know, in the sense of having kind of a mediator, or having an outsider, you know, having an outsider come in and say, hey, you guys, you know, let's lay it all
diffuses
out.
the tension.
Yes. It's different than when sometimes we just sit ourselves and do it. But I think it's a good example of what to do. And again, like you were saying, we tend not to ask for help. Oh, we can do it all.
right,
You know, oh, you 3 kids, 2 dogs, you 3 kids, different moms, you know, your daughter, everything else, we can do it. And we have works, and we have jobs, and we have this, and, you know, but then, you know, it comes back to, yes, ask for help.
Yeah.
And I think that's the part of what we were trying to do, with She Unplugged, in the sense of, you know, you have a community, right? It's building. You just heard her experience. Maybe your experience is similar, and you're like, oh, I never thought about therapy. You know, like, I never thought about therapy, and I think
for a lot of
around.
Yeah, I think for a lot of people, I'm really glad you brought that up in terms of therapy. For some people, I don't know if it's like a taboo or
Resistance.
like a resistance to it, and they feel like, well, if I go to therapy, then am I going to be on medication? If I go on therapy, does that mean I'm not well, or is there something wrong with me? It's not that. It's about, do you want to feel better? Do you want to know how to navigate all the things that you're going through in life? And I think therapy definitely helps, but some people are really adamant. I think even like in our communities, like women that are older, like let's say our parents, or women that are, you know, and this is the time, our generation is different. I think the generation that came, you know, prior to us, I think they would be resilient. So you think about like talking to our aunts that are in their 50s or 60s. Oh, they're thinking it's like,
No, you're crazy.
You're crazy.
Yeah.
You're crazy.
Oh, yo no estoy loco.
You can back that up. To them, it's like they feel like therapy is like going into like an insane asylum. Like, that's not it. It's about getting help. It's about a conversation from a different perspective, from people that can truly help. So I think, you know, maybe, I mean, now us, you know, women, sometimes we don't do it because we feel like, oh, maybe we don't need it, or, oh, I don't have the time. But it's so important.
But it's so important.
It can help you just unravel so much.
And I'm thinking that there's also different ways, because, you know, if we think about women that don't want to do therapy, or don't like it, or don't believe in it, in your case it worked, or for some people like, oh, I've tried it and it didn't work. So there's still other coping mechanisms, I'm sure, you know, and I'm sure you probably used some of them even before you got to therapy. You know, for some people it's just going to be just having an app that helps you with calm down and meditation.
Reading.
Like I just heard from my dear friend right here. You know, and then for some other people, it's just going to be the gym. And for some other people, it's just go out for a walk. So the good thing is that to understand and be open to the different resources.
Yeah.
And knowing that there are resources out there. You can maybe afford, there are people you can afford just going outside. You know, I used to enjoy a lot in a hard day, just sitting out there and then just hear the birds just chirping and looking at the sky. And I was fascinated with looking at the blue with the white of the clouds. And sometimes you'll see how the sun hits this spot and you just sit there, and that is therapy. It's a form of disconnect. It's a form of disconnect and therapy. You know, I'm hot.
So that's how you unplug.
Actually,
I tell her how I unplug, and she like, and we're so different because I unplug. My unplug is very different. I'll spin a bike in a hot moon in the dark.
Wow.
That's how I unplug. And then, like, Chris will unplug by sitting with the sun outside.
I just try to see the designs of the
and
car.
the clouds. Like, is that a horse? Is that a teddy bear?
Yeah, and actually I do that. I promise you, I do that. And then
I've seen some
when I lived in New York,
York.
when I lived in New York, it was at times I was just so, you know how it was, like work, so intense and everything. And sometimes my best time of the day was when I would take like a lunch break. And at one point we were across the street from Central Park in one of the offices that I worked at. And I would just go and sit there in a bench with a book and lunch or whatever.
And the city's going crazy.
People going crazy around you. And then the birds, and then the dogs, the paloma everywhere. And then you're like sitting there and you're like, you know.
Yes.
So, you know. So I love everything that you share. I will ask you one thing. So what would you tell women that are afraid of that change? So that change that went through, because you went through a lot of changes. I wanted to be a film producer, and I ended up in San Francisco, and then I ended up in tech, and then I ended up, you know, meeting a guy, and I don't have any
On
kids. I
Bumble
want kids.
during the pandemic.
And then he has kids, and now I'm a mom, and now all of this shit. So what would you tell the women that are afraid of changes? In your case, like, you know, how did it work out, and what not to do, or what did you do different, or, you know, is there something some little trick that worked for you that might work for somebody else?
I just trust and pray to God, you know. I kind of like give him the power, the reign, and trust that it's
That's gonna
a
work
bigger
out.
plan.
Right.
You know, it's part of the bigger plan.
Yes, that's
You
pretty
know?
intense. That's very, very big.
Yeah.
You know, a very great thing to do.
Yeah.
Just trust in the process,
Trust
have
in the
faith,
And
at
also
the
be
same time-
intentional. Also be intentional in what you want, right? Because I know it comes to you, but you have to embody it.
Yes.
Right, you have to embody
Own it.
Like you were saying, you know, I wanted to have a big family, but I didn't want to have children, right? And then here comes William with 3 beautiful children to share with you, but it was intentional in you and wanting that.
Yes.
Right? So it came to and embracing it, and then God, the universe, you know, however the spiritual path that you're in, it brings it to you, and it presents itself, but you have to be intentional in wanting it.
Exactly.
And willing. I think that's what it comes to, the willingness, the openness you had,
Openness.
that you had to kind of, you know, embrace all of that and accept it. And I think that could be a message that we could share today, in the sense of life is going to happen. Change
Trust the
everywhere.
process.
Trust the process.
Yes,
Just, you know, have fun with it, because it sounds like you had a lot of fun with it too.
Because you know, you have 2 options. You're given a situation. You're either gonna make the best of it, or you're gonna, like, you know,
sit in it and dwell in it. No, you gotta get
exactly.
So you
there's
make
something
the
else
best of
coming.
everything.
Yeah.
I did, and I'm very proud of that.
And I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
Definitely. Thank you for joining us for inspiration.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody, for allowing us to, you know, come to you again and chit chat a little bit, learn a little bit about, you know, experiences and all, and unplug. So we're going to be unplugging the next time.
Absolutely.
And thank you again for being
Thank
with
you for
us.
joining us. And thank you, Larissa. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you both. This is fun.
Obrigada. I gotta learn some Portuguese.
Yes.
And your friend.
Boa sorte.
Okay, boa sorte.
Boa sorte. Like good luck.
Boa sorte. All of you as well.
Ciao.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Before you go, take this with you. You don't have to have everything figured out. You don't have to be perfect or strong all the time.
This space is just a reminder that you're human, you're doing your best, and that's more than enough.
This is She Unplugged. Thanks for being here.
And we'll see you next time.